Alright everybody, I know I've been like uploading like crazy today, streams, whatever, trying to get platinum. I'm 3 trophies away. But since I've killed Lawrence, which I need to do in order to get all the old hunter trophies, which I have now, I can officially rank, I don't know about what I'm saying, I can rank all Bloodborne bosses because I've killed all bosses, including side bosses, other than Chalice Dungeons. Only Chalice Dungeon bosses I've done are the ones that you need to kill to get the Queen of Yharnam, which I have killed her as well. Anyways, I think there's 22 bosses, and I'm gonna rank them easiest to hardest. And while I'm ranking them, I'm going to first equip all moon runes, and I'm just gonna grind, farm, lecture building until I'm finished, and see how many blood echoes I have by the end of it. Which, yeah. So first, for the easiest boss, I think this is the most obvious choice. Celestial Emissary, fucking easy. I mean, if you don't know about this boss, then I guess I can talk about it. It's just a bunch of blue alien dudes. And one of them is the actual boss. You don't know which one until the second phase, where he get the one you're looking for, like the actual one the actual boss that you need to kill, gets even bigger, so he's just an even bigger target. So yeah, he's super easy. I don't think I got hit by them once, so I don't know about the damage, but yeah, super easy. First try, a 5-year-old could kill that boss, I think. Second is the Witch of Hemwick. Boss fight's a little confusing at first. First, it's like you enter the room, and then there's this big thing being summoned. Once you kill it, a bunch of the other things that are being summoned spawn. And you realize the boss's health isn't going down, and then you realize there's something else you should be doing. There's an invisible witch crawling around that you have to kill. And after you kill it, another one spawns, and it's like, then there's like 2, and then the other one comes back to life again for a little bit. It's so weird and confusing. Super easy. The only real threat is the little orb she shoots at you where it locks you in place, and she'll hit you, but it doesn't really do anything, so that's about all. And her summons are a little tricky, but they literally pace around. They walk really slow. Fucking drag their feet and shit. Next up, I put Cleric Beast. Cleric Beast is really easy. It's the first Souls boss I ever fought was Cleric Beast, and I beat him in like 10 tries. He's cool. It's a fun boss. Really loud, screams. Attacks are really easy to dodge. Just dodge in, hit it. Doesn't have a lot of health. Very easy fight, and you can visceral it pretty quick, pretty easily. So yeah. Next, nothing too much to it. It's the first boss you encounter. It's the first optional boss as well. I mean, Father Gaston is the real main boss. They found after, but anyways. Next up is Living Failures. They're not necessarily hard, but it's a long, annoying fight. It is quite annoying. It's a super long fight because there's like 4 of these things walking around. They're like this figure, like alien things. I don't even know what they are. I think it's considered a great one. There's like a bunch of them walking around. They all have a lot of health. It's really easy to parry. Attacks don't do too much damage. The only difficulty coming out of it is when they like make it turn to space. The whole atmosphere goes into like the space type theme, and a bunch of meteors come down at you. But luckily, you can hide behind this big ass pillar, and they won't hit you, so you're completely fine. Super easy fight, but it's a long fight. It's kind of annoying because it takes forever because they have a lot of health. Next I put Mikolash, whatever. Mikolash, host of the Living Night, or host of Nightmare Princess, whatever. He's the one with the big cage. He's super easy. Just trap him in a room, fight him. Dodge side to side. For some reason, the first time I fought him, I dodged back, which didn't really work. Like the one attack he has in the first phase, it's just one attack, but it does a lot of damage. And I think it stun freezes you. So yeah, it's if you dodge back, it doesn't really work. You kind of have to dodge side to side, and then you just hit him right after. I would dodge back in the times where I didn't get hit while dodging back. I don't know, whatever. I was super underleveled as well, but he's really easy. Just yeah, it's like tag basically. It's like playing fucking tag. Next I put the One Reborn. He's kind of tough. A little bit. The summon, if you summon, it's easy though. It's a fucking cakewalk with the summon. So I just do the summon to make it easy. He has this little, it's this big big blob of bones and flesh, and he's really gross. Also, sorry this video doesn't have a whole lot of visual, like, entertainment. It's just... Anyways, he has these... It's like the Tower Knight, kind of, from Demon Souls, but easier. He has these weird, like, summon, like, bell ringers up on these rooftops. Up on these, like... What do you call it? Like, balconies, I guess? That you have to kill or else they heal him whenever you do damage. But the only attack to really look out for is the one where he fills the whole ground up with, like, poison acid or something. Just go up the stairs a little bit and you'll be fine. Yeah, it's nothing really to him. I hate that boss. He's super lame, not really that much fun. Just a big, bulky blob. Kind of reminds me of the Mind Flayer in Season 3 when it's just this big, fleshy, gruesome mess. Next up, what did I put? Yeah, Shadows of Yharnam. They're pretty easy. The only difficulty is the fact that there's 3, and they're all slightly different. One's like a mage who just does like fire attacks, like ranged fire attacks, and the other one is like only melee, like a sword. And the other one, the third one is like a mix of both. It does ranged fire attacks and melee attacks. Once you do enough damage to them or kill one, there's like these weird snake attacks that they start to do. And those are pretty dangerous. They do a lot of damage. It's kind of hard to multitask, but you can use 2 summons for this fight. If you do both summons, it's a cakewalk. Without the summons, it's a little tough. But this is my list, not your mom's, not my brother's, not your cousin's. I don't fucking know. It's my list, so I summon, so it's easy. Next, I put the one reborn twice. I'm a fucking idiot. My bad. Next is Moon Presence, is what I put. Moon Presence is super easy. It's the last boss of the game if you eat all of the umbilical cords. Very cool boss design. I wish it was harder because of the last boss. I mean, compared to like Elden Ring, the last boss is Radagon. He's a pretty fucking tough boss, you know. And then when you kill him, it's another boss right after. Like, it took me like 2 hours to kill Radagon, and then when I finally killed him, I was so happy, and Elden Beast came out of nowhere. Elden Beast is easy, kind of. Whatever. We're talking about Moon Presence. He's cool. The only attack he has that's undodgeable, and that really does anything. All the other attacks, super easy to dodge, super simple, very easy boss fight, not a lot of health. Can do good damage, can parry, I think. I don't know about that. But he has this one attack where it, like, puts his hand on his eye, and it takes it off, and it's this big red, like, glow, and then it's like a beam. I don't know. It's not even like a straight beam that hits you. It's just weird. It drops your health to exactly like 1 point, and but right after he's like stunned, he won't move for a second, so you can just heal right back up. So it's kind of pointless. He has this one thing where a bunch of blood will fall this guy, and when the blood hits you, you can't heal. Which one time he hit me with the laser beam attack, where all my health was 1 point, and hit me with the blood. So I literally couldn't heal from that, and that was really scary. And it was like a good solid 10 seconds-ish where I couldn't heal, so it was kind of scary. But I could heal after the seconds is up. I healed and killed his ass. Moon Presence is super easy, but yeah. Now this is where it gets kind of tricky. The first main boss that you come across, Father Gascon or Father G. I call him Father G because Gascon is easy to pronounce. A lot of people call him Gascoigne. He's easy. It's a really sad fight, kind of, because he's going crazy. If you play his daughter's music box, which you don't need to, he's easy. Just parry him. Just get good and parry. It's fucking easy. Get the viscerals. But if you play his daughter's music box, he kind of fades back into his normal humanity for a little bit and won't attack you, and you can beat his ass during that. But it's really sad. After a huge chunk of his health is gone, like a third of his health is left, he will transform into a beast, and that beast is not to be fucked with. It's kind of like a turning point, and it's when you kind of realize, oh, this game is fucking crazy. And it is. It's a fucking crazy game, but it's awesome. I love it. But yeah, Father Gascon, he's pretty easy, other than when he becomes the beast. It gets a little tricky. He's very aggressive. Just parry and visceral. Or dodge a lot. Next, I put Vicar Amelia. Vicar Amelia, for me, Vicar, whatever, she's easy as fuck for me now. Before, I didn't know that fire paper demolishes her, which it does. It fucking destroys her. For my first time ever fighting her, it took me like 2-3 hours to finally beat her. I was so happy when I did. She was my first real big struggle in Bloodborne. But now, if you just use fire paper and the Saw Cleaver, it's easy, super easy fight. So yeah, she does a heal move. She does this thing where she heals, but if you just attack her, it doesn't really do much. Should take like a minute and a half, maybe only a minute, depending on how aggressive you are. You could dodge really easy. I don't know how I struggled so hard with her my first time. Ever since then, my last 2 playthroughs, I've killed her like second try both times. I could have first try this playthrough actually. Next is Bloodstar Beast. Bloodstar Beast at first, my first time fighting him, wasn't really super tough. But my second time fighting him was super hard. Until my third time fighting him, which was on this playthrough. I befriended Alfred, who's my boy. I love Alfred, and I summoned him. Really easy when you summon Alfred. You can pretty much first try. Bloodstar Beast has his poison attacks that are pretty annoying. He's really easy at first. It seems like it's kind of like almost trying to avoid you. You just chase after it, hit. It'll like loosely attack, but it will barely. Almost like it's attacking away from you. And if you dodge, it'll make it that much easier not to hit. So yeah, Bloodstar Beast is pretty easy. Not really. It's kind of tough. It's definitely not the easiest fight, but definitely not the hardest. I'd say it's right there in the middle. Next is Amygdala. I call her Amygdala, but that's not how you spell it. Anyways, this fight really depending on your playstyle. If you're a strength build, every now and then Amygdala will drop its head down, and if you're a strength build, just do a charge heavy attack, will do a lot of damage. If you're not a strength build, if you're like a skill build, which is kind of what I'm doing this playthrough, when she drops its head, you can hit it like 2 times, but it won't do that much damage. So it's a way longer, way more difficult process. It's kind of it all depends on your build, but he's pretty easy. I don't know. He gets difficult when he takes his arms off. It's a little bit harder, but still not too bad. Wow. Okay, I can't believe I ranked this guy higher, but now that I'm thinking about it, I kind of agree. Rom, the vacuous spider. The boss itself is easy until the second and third parts. There's like 3 parts. The first part, it's just this big, ugly spider. Don't hit its head, hit its body, it does more damage. And all these little spiders around it are the biggest challenge. You don't have to kill them, but it's easier if you do, especially if you have a summon. But the spider himself, with all those little spiders, they do a lot of damage. You should watch out for them. You should kill them. They're really easy to avoid. If you're trying to fight them, it's really easy to dodge and just kill them all and not get hit once. And then kill Rom. But in his second and third phase, he disappears every time you take like a third of his health down. He'll disappear once and then he'll disappear again. The second time, the first and second time he disappears, he'll have this new attack where he can summon rocks, like meteors, that'll destroy you. And with all the little spiders crawling around, it makes it very difficult to deal with running away from those rocks, hitting the spiders, and also trying to hit Rom every now and then. The third phase, same thing. He just has more attacks and more spiders. It gets pretty tough and intense. It's a little difficult. But it's not really too hard as well. It doesn't really get... This list doesn't get too hard until, like, the top 6. Yeah, top 6. Next up, Murgo's Wet Nurse. This fight is one of the most is one of, if not the most satisfying fights in the game. It's so, I don't know, the feeling of like dodging this boss and then hitting it and like punishing him, really like, just punishing the shit out of her after dodging her super swift attacks, which you would feel like shit on you and hit you like almost every time, but not really. The biggest difficulty from this fight is when she goes into her shadow phase. When she's not in her shadow phase, you can go without getting hit pretty much the whole time and just do a lot of damage. And you won't have to use, like, you only use 1 or 2, maybe 3 blood vials if you're not that good. But she goes into, like, the shadow realm type shit. It gets really dark, and there's a bunch of clones of her everywhere that will attack you, and they have these long-ass arms. It's just dodge, heal, dodge, heal, dodge, heal, hit. Maybe every now and then dodge, heal, hit. Dodge, heal, hit. It's the same thing. It's pretty tough. It's not super easy. Oh wow, I didn't put... Fuck, I'm sorry. I'm really underprepared for this. I didn't put this boss on this list. I'm going to right now. Yeah, I'd say so. Can't believe... I feel like I did put this boss, but I didn't. Anyways, next up, top 7. Martyr Logarius is next after Murgo's Wet Nurse. It's the top 7. This is where stuff gets hard. Martel Argarius is one of my favorite fights. He's just really fun to fight, in my opinion. Wow, only 3 levels? That's ridiculous. Martel Argarius, his first phase, he just does these ranged, like, skull attacks. It's very hard to get him to do normal attacks. They're pretty easy to dodge once you get the hang of it. He just does a lot of them, and they do a lot of damage, so dodge, hit, every now and then he'll do, like, actual physical, like, actual melee attacks, not just range attacks. But then his second phase, all these spears and swords start falling down on you. They hit you. He's super aggressive, does these insane, like, goes in the air and swoops down and hits you. But he's really easy to parry if he's not doing the attack where he's mid-air and slamming down on you with his scythe. Really easy to parry. Doesn't have a lot of health. It's pretty easy to punish him. It's a dance. Just dodge, hit, parry, dodge, hit, parry, dodge, hit, parry. It's once you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy, but it's definitely a very tough fight. I struggled with him very hard my first few attempts. It was very difficult for me. Next, I put he's cool though. I like his boss fight, and I love Kane Harris. Kane Harris is one of my favorite areas, if not my favorite. Next is Gehrman, my favorite boss fight of all time in any video game. The music is, I know I'm not really talking about music in these fights, but he looks cool. He is cool, even though he's a fucking liar. I feel really sad for him because the emotion that like, he must be feeling, you know, being trapped in Hunter's dream and having it's just very sad. And emotional. The music is fantastic. It's my favorite, one of my favorite video game scores of all time, if not my favorite, to go with my favorite boss fight. Awesome arena. It's just really sad, and I don't know. But the difficulty, this is a difficulty rating, not a coolness rating, whatever. It's pretty difficult. He's pretty parryable, but there's this part where he does this AoE attack where he charges up, and then it's this big blast and does a lot of damage. And he'll do this one this one attack he'll do consistently where there's like 3 phases. The second phase he'll have his he uses the burial blade. He'll have his sword out, like the sword version of the scythe rather than the scythe, and he'll shoot you a lot, and there's a good chance you're gonna get parried. It's harder to parry him in that phase than it is when he has his scythe. But when he goes back to the scythe, he goes like full god mode and does these super difficult air attacks, which will, like, these range, like, he'll swing while floating in the air, and it'll send down this, like, air cut onto you. It's like some anime shit. It's really cinematic. It's dope, but it's hard to dodge. Does a lot of damage. He's really tough, but if you parry him, if you can parry him a lot, if you're good at parrying, which it is hard to parry him for some people, I guess, not really for me, but the viscerals will do a lot of damage, and when he has his normal scythe, like the 2-handed scythe, it's really easy to parry, but it is very difficult. This is a difficult fight. It's not easy. Next, I put Lady Maria. Her first phase, I beat her on my 2nd or 3rd try. I was expecting her to be a lot harder. She was hard, but I'll get to that. Her first phase is insanely easy. Her first phase is about as easy as Murgo's Wet Nurse, if not easier. She's super easy to parry. None of her attacks aren't that hard to dodge. You don't even have to dodge them. You can pretty much parry them every time. That's how easy they are to parry, in my opinion. But her second phase, dude, her second phase is fucking hard. So I only used like 2 or 3 blood vials for her first phase because I was constantly parrying and hitting her. And every time I get hit, I would just parry and get health back. So I only used like 2 blood vials in her first phase. But her second phase, I used like all the rest of them because of how much I was getting hit. She does these insane ranged blood fire attacks where the attacks are... It's very hard. It's not easy to parry either. There's this one attack which is actually easy to dodge, but I had to figure that out because I'm an idiot. Where I have her weapon, I can just demonstrate. Where she'll still have her blood fire attacks, and she'll do this. She'll do a charged heavy like this, straightforward, and a big beam of blood and fire will go out, and it fucking hurts. Does a lot of damage. So her second phase is extremely difficult. It's not easy. I compare her second phase to like Orphan's first phase, but a little bit harder because of how much range she has in her attacks. But she's a very awesome boss fight. I thought she'd be cooler. She's like one of the fan favorites in this game, but I don't like her boss fight as much as Gearman. Not even close. Not even close. Next, who's next? Abritas, the daughter of the Cosmos. I fucking hate this boss. This boss isn't even fun. I wasn't expecting this boss to be hard at all, and so when it was hard, it just hurt that much more. She's a huge pain in the ass, dude. Yeah, I fucking hate Abritas. It's not that much to say. Every now and then you can hit her in the head, and it does a little bit of damage. Just stay behind her, hit her body. You're gonna heal a lot. It's difficult. There's not too much to say. It's a very... And this is true for most of the bosses in the game. Her boss design is fucking awesome. Incredible. There's not too much to say. She's very difficult. Very difficult. She's 4th place on this. Next I put Lawrence. So Lawrence took me a while to beat. It took me, I'd probably say 2 hours worth of attempts. So his first phase for me, for some reason, earlier today, it wasn't that bad. Like, the last few days when I was trying to fight him, it was really hard for me to fight him. I would only see an opening to do a combo, like, every now and then. But then I realized, just dodge into every single attack, and you can get behind him super easily and deal a lot of damage. The attempt where I beat him was the only attempt I got him to a second phase. I never got him to a second phase until the attempt where I finally got him to a second phase, I beat him. His second phase was very easy other than the lava. The lava is the only thing that made it difficult, but you can hit him so much. It's so easy to hit him. But his first phase is super hard. He does a lot of damage. It is pretty hard to dodge. Took me, like I said, 2 hours to get the hang of the dodging and perfecting the dodges in order to actually go in and see an opening and actually do any sort of damage. Pretty hard fight. It's literally just the Cleric Beast, but on fucking Gear, Tren, and Gyno. Not Gyno, I don't know what I'm saying. On Gear and Tren, basically a lot of skills. And with a lot of fire and lava, it's way fucking harder. I put that in 3rd place for the hardest bosses. 2nd, I put Ludwig. So, it's a funny story with Ludwig. My first time ever fighting Ludwig, this is embarrassing, I fought Ludwig for 6 hours straight and could barely even get him to his second phase. Ludwig was by far the hardest boss that I had ever faced at that time. At that time, I had just gotten finished with my second Outer Ring playthrough, my New Game Plus playthrough, and I had just beaten Melania. New Game Plus Melania, and I killed Melania on my regular New Game. So, that's how, I was pretty good, you know, I killed Melania. That's how hard I struggled with Ludwig for the first time. When I got to him on this playthrough, I don't know how, I killed him on my second try. I destroyed him. His first phase is so hard. Like his attacks are just insane, ridiculous. They're scary. They're surprising. And then his second phase, he gets a sword, super easy to dodge, pretty easy to deal a lot of damage. Except for his AoE attacks with that sword are fucking insane. Extremely hard fight. He's second on my list. He was, I would say he is the hardest boss. He was the hardest Bloodborne boss for me. But I beat him so easy on this playthrough that it's kind of like in between, it's kind of mixed now. Of course, 1st place. By the way, Ludwig is probably my it's my 3rd favorite boss fight. 2nd favorite is Orphan, who is also the hardest boss fight, of course, obviously. Orphan of Cause, highly regarded as one of the hardest boss fights in all of Soulsborne. I'm just gonna go out here right now and say he's not even close to Melania. Now, I will say this: his second phase is, let's say if Melania's second phase it doubled. See, Melania has a full health bar that you have to kill, plus she heals when she hits you. Full health bar, then second phase, full health bar. Her second phase is really hard. Really hard. Orphan's second phase is twice as hard, but he has half the health. Because he's like a half health to second phase boss. His second phase is fucking insane. Ridiculous. The few times that I got close to beating him, I had 0 blood vials left, and his health would be very low. That's how hard it was. When I did finally kill him, I had 2 blood vials left. First phase, really easy to parry, but the thing that led me to victory was, I didn't think of this, he does this one attack where he jumps midair and slams his shrimp down into the ground. You can easily dodge behind him and just do a charged heavy attack and get a parry visceral, and it does like 2,500 damage. Makes it way easier. You can do it quite a bit in the second phase. I got lucky. he was doing a combo, and I just did a charge heavy in the middle of it, where he turned around for some reason, and I got it, and I killed him. It was super lucky. But he's by far the hardest, and he's a very cool boss. Love the music. I love the bass. It's so satisfying to kill him. He's so fucking difficult. I'd say he's... I don't know if he's the second or third hardest Soulsborne boss, at least. No, third. I don't know. He's like tied with Ludwig for hardest boss that I struggled with the most. Him, Ludwig, and... I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. He's very hard, hardest Bloodborne boss, and... How long was this video? That completes the list. I had 200,000 when I leveled up, and I have basically 200,000 now. So let's just say I had 220,000 when I leveled up, actually. So let's just say 400,000 was the amount of blood echoes I had after a 25-minute video of me ranking the bosses. Hope you guys enjoyed. Obviously, there wasn't a lot of visual representation because I haven't really gotten into editing in a whole lot yet. I mean, I've uploaded hundreds of videos on my channel. I thought that'd be enough to get me popular, and I figured by the time I reached 1,000-ish subscribers, I could start editing and taking it way more seriously. For now, uploading a fuck ton of videos is just gonna have to be enough. But if you guys enjoyed, I'm thinking this video might get more views than most of my videos. Most videos where I like talk about stuff like my favorite, or like ranking stuff, or like what I want, or anything. Is usually do pretty well on this channel, so hopefully it does well, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Obviously, if you liked it, smash like. If you didn't like it, I mean, if you just watched it and enjoyed it but wasn't really worth a like, then don't like it. But if you didn't like it, dislike it, like it, whatever, do whatever you want. Hope you guys enjoyed. Anyways, I'll see you on the next one later. And if I do, real quick, if I do blow up one day, which I won't, but if I do, I will 100% redo this, and I'm 100% gonna do a full Bloodborne playthrough. I'll try to platinum it again, even though I already did. Anyways, see ya.